rolling? Because today's a big day, you guys. Today's the day I get to share one of my most important people in my life, Tony Award nominated actress, singer. I know, right? Woo! LGBTQIA plus advocate.
And member.
I like that. Yeah, right. There's a difference, right? Mm-hmm.
Just putting it out there.
Just putting it out there. And really, truly, the kindest, most incredible person on a day-to-day level that I have ever met.
Oh my God.
She's also the fifth most important and favorite person to my children. Shout out to Aunt Stacy and Safta, my mom. I happen to be the second, in case anyone's wondering what the ranking is.
Second.
Caitlin Kinnunen.
Hi.
Welcome to the Mom Curious podcast.
Thanks for having me. I would like you to do that intro just anywhere I go. Any room I walk into, I would like you to go into first and be like, here's the sitch.
Okay.
Thank
but I
you.
do, in effect, I do. You know that, right?
Oh yeah, 100%.
So Caitlin was away for the pandemic for some time.
Yeah.
And when you came back, I was like, Mommy! Caitlin's coming! In the meantime, since we've seen her, she has been nominated for a Tony. And she's still so down to earth and nice.
We try.
Hasn't changed at all. How did that happen?
I think I've changed on like the inside, on like a good way, in a good way, but like not like the basis of who I am is still the same.
How did you change on the inside?
I don't know. I think I'm a little wiser, a little more confident. Good changes.
Good changes.
I don't know.
Yeah, it was such a great reunion. Anyway, I say that this is a big day because I have a feeling this is going to be a near and dear topic to Miss Laura Lucetti's heart. Because in the middle of the pandemic, maybe you want to set us up. In the middle of the pandemic, I continue to follow you on socials and we keep in touch, even, distance, whatever. It means nothing.
Distance means nothing.
Not to us.
Makes the heart grow fonder.
It's true, and it did.
Yeah.
And one day you get on your phone and tell the world, "Hey, I'm getting my tubes tied. I don't want kids.
No.
I don't want them."
Nearest and dearest to mine.
Yeah.
So here we are. We set up this thesis for the show, which is hey, if you're curious about motherhood, we have a Rolodex of people who are here to tell you this angle and that angle. And if you're not, that's
also
cool too.
Yes.
Turns out, not everyone knows that.
Yeah.
That it's really more than okay that there are procedures you can do.
It is so more than okay. There are procedures, there are options, there are natural ways to go about it. You don't have to have kids, and that's okay. Yeah. And there are many options for you to not have kids.
Yeah. Well, okay. Can we go into what brought you to that decision, how it went maybe? And so for the listener, here's the thing. If we were talking about natural birth, I would go step by step with the person and say, this is how it goes, or egg freezing or whatever, because usually people click on these and say actually, I want to do that.
Yeah.
So if you could mentor the ear holes of the woman who's listening.
Of the individual.
Or this one in the room that's also listening.
Yeah, I'll speak directly to you. So it's something that I've always known. I don't want kids. It's just been a part of my being. I feel like people in life they know, you see little kids playing with baby dolls and they say oh, I want kids, and immediately, and they grow up and they continue to say oh, I want a family, I want to raise kids, and I was staunchly the opposite, and I was I don't want that.
Which is I don't know why it's interesting to me, but it's worth pointing out that you are amazing with kids. And that's not the same thing.
Oh, yeah. It's completely different. I love kids. I think kids are amazing.
Yeah.
I think the children are our future. It's very important for other people to continue to have children and for me to love them. But for me, biologically, to have one, no. So yeah, it was something that I always knew I did not want to take part of. And just like as I've gotten older, it's become more clear. The reasoning behind it for me became more clear. And there are many reasons. It's not just like, oh, I don't want to give birth. It's like, it's political, economic, it's environmental, it's health-wise, it's my body, it's all of the things combined into one. But yeah, so I was thinking about
those
it.
things, by the way.
I will go into those things.
You will not offend
Can we also
anyone here.
Can we go into? It's interesting
Because
that
it is worth going into.
Also that you started with, it's not that I'm scared to give birth, which is everyone's immediate initial assumption. My mother, who would love me to have kids and hates my stance, has said, like, what are you scared? What are you scared? And I'm like, it's so much more complicated and there's so much more to it. But it's funny because people really, that's where they start. And like, of course not. I've done scary, horrible things for like, to reach an end outcome that I wanted. Like, it's
and like, yeah, it is scary,
exactly
but like,
right.
Our bodies are like, that's what we are built to have the child, you know? So like,
which is part of the reason why you have to have an intervention.
Yeah.
Right, because otherwise you can have a child by accident, which is a real
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And like, so paranoid about that.
Oh my God.
Have been my whole life. Just like, no, I don't want it. Anyway.
I was on birth control before I ever had sex because I was so freaked out about the possibility of like ever even accidentally getting into that spot.
I'm fully the believer of like, it would be me. I would be the next Virgin Mary.
I was just thinking that, guys. I was just thinking like, you guys drink the Kool-Aid a little too hard.
Oh my God, yes.
You can't.
And what's crazy is that like, my parents are amazing. And like, this was never like a taboo topic of like, you get pregnant by just existing around a male figure. Oh yeah, we like went into all the details. So like I knew, but I was like, I just, it's me. I'm the special one. I am going to magically be the one who like, well, I went pee on a toilet seat that someone had, you know, just yeah.
And
because that's
swam up into you.
Yes.
And found your eggs.
Yes.
Yes.
Meanwhile, people work so hard to get pregnant.
Yes. I mean, but also there are people who don't work so hard to get pregnant and get pregnant and they don't want to be.
Yes.
So that like is a real thing.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
There's so many options. All options are open and equal and great and you do you.
Yeah. Totally. I also love that you love your mother and your
love
mom
my
is
parents.
such a hero. I know. And I think a lot of people think like, oh, people with trauma. Actually, we once had someone on the show who has a thesis where they believe you know, someone who doesn't want to be a mother has a mother wound. And can we go into how cool your mom is?
Yeah.
When you were how old? She moved all the way to New York from Seattle
16.
For your Broadway debut?
Yeah.
Tell me about your mom.
Yeah. So my mom is awesome. Her name is Betsy. Hi, Mom. She's the best. I got diagnosed with type 1 diabetes when I was 8 years old, and my family like just took that in stride and was there for me, supported me, did all of the things with me and for me. They've been the most supportive. And then when I was 16, I booked my first Broadway show, and that, of course, was in New York, and I lived in Washington State. And my parents were like, well, if we say no to this, it may never present itself again. So, like, we have to say yes. So my mom moved across the country with me, leaving my dad and my sister in Washington, and lived with me in New York for 2.5 years while I followed my dreams.
And like, then continued to.
Yeah. And then she was like, okay, cool, I'm going back to Washington. And, you know, now she's back in Washington and, like, with my dad. And
she's a painter.
She's a painter. She's an artist. She's a beautiful artist. She's a teacher. She cares so deeply about other people. But, yeah, so there is, like, zero mom wound in there at all. I have, like, the epitome of, like, what a good, healthy relationship should look like, what parenthood should look like, what support should look like. Like, my parents are amazing. My mother is incredible. I have the be-all, end-all example of what it can be.
I think the reason why I bring it up is because I have a feeling similar to the conversation you have with your mom, Laura. Like, we pathologize people who aren't doing what we want them to do, which is populate the earth and follow in line with what everyone else ought to do. And I don't think that anyone means to do this. This like pathologizing of women who aren't interested in having children. I think it's an accident. I think it's by accident.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it could be complicated like it is for Laura, but it also could be very simple.
Yeah.
Straightforward. I don't want this. What I want is to be an artist.
Yeah. And what I want is to be like fully whole as a human being who can give back to her community, her family, and be there for others. And I knew that if I had a kid, it would be detrimental to so many facets of myself. And that's not fair to me. That's not fair to the kid that I would bring into this world. Like, so unfair to them. And it was just, it's a no for me.
It's just a no.
It's just a no.
Okay, so how can you take us through the process? This had to do with Roe v. Wade being overturned.
That was like,
isn't that right?
that was like the catalyst of it. You
Tell
know,
us.
like it definitely, like, I had always not wanted children. I had always been on birth control. I had always been like, okay, I'm not getting pregnant. No. And then Roe v. Wade happened, and it was just this light bulb moment, I'm sure, for a lot of people, that I was like, I don't want this so much that if it accidentally happens and we live in a country now where I don't have the access I thought I had access to, I don't want to put myself in that position. I want to be in control of my own body. I want to be able to say yes or no to something. And the idea that that could be taken away from me, no. No. So I started doing some research. I was like, what are the options? And yeah, it was like tubal ligation. And I was like, okay, cool. Let's look into that.
Not birth control? Not just like...
Well, I had been on birth control. Birth control is super effective, but not 100%.
do you know what the percentage is?
It depends on the birth control.
Oh.
I had an IUD for a really long time, and that's like in the 90s.
I need you to know that I got an IUD and then bled for 3 months.
Oh, it can
So
happen.
that happens to people.
Yeah, like I had an IUD. I started with Mirena, maybe one of the like small plastic ones, easy. Best thing ever. Loved it. And then this dumbass, like 4 years in, was like, I'm going to switch to the copper one because I don't want hormones in me.
Well, that's not you being a dumbass, first and foremost.
Well, it turned
I
out
won't
to
let
be.
you talk about my friend like that. I just won't let that happen.
Well,
And that
yes.
is a real concern for some people.
Totally.
And may have been for you.
sure. And like, yeah, so I was super happy on the birth control I was on. And then I was like, what if we change it up? And it was horrible. The copper IUD was horrible for me.
Bled for 3 months.
Like,
Really?
I did not bleed for 3 months, but like I was in so much pain
Yeah.
and like could not shit.
Oh
It's
my
very
God.
weird. Yeah, it was.
Guys, I gotta tell you, I love modern medicine. Like
Love
if modern medicine, I mean, keeps you alive literally
It's
every
the
day.
truly every day.
What does it do? Wait, what is the device you use
An insulin pump
to just stay alive?
to just stay alive.
and well.
Yeah.
And like sing on stage for thousands of people.
Yeah.
Okay, an insulin thing.
Yes.
An insulin pump?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
You got this.
So great. I love modern interventions. I really do. But I took a round of steroids, like, I don't know, you were there, a month ago, and like it has wrecked my digestion.
yeah.
It's a real thing. Anyway, go on.
But yeah, so I like switched to the copper IUD and I was like, this is horrible. And then I went from that to the implant. So I was on a Nexplanon, which is where they like shove a little toothpick in your arm full of
Oh.
hormones. And it was great. So like so many forms of birth control. I've been on almost all of them except for the shots.
there are shots.
There are shots. You can get shots. Oh.
I guess I'm hungry.
I actually looked it up. Tubal ligation has gone up 800 to 1,000% since Roe v.
I'm
Wade was
sure.
overturned.
Yes.
800 to 1,000%.
Yeah.
Mic drop.
Yeah, because like people want control of their own bodies.
100%.
What? Shocking. But yeah, so I had tried all of the birth control things, but the birth control things are either you take a pill every day, you have to change a vaginal ring, you have to remember to go to the doctor to get shots, you have to keep track of, oh, how many years has it been since I put this piece of plastic up my hoo-ha?
It's like still the mental
It's
load
still
of like,
so
I don't want this
much.
thing. I don't want this thing. Do I want this thing? I don't want this thing.
Exactly.
Even though I know that you don't have a thought, do I want this thing? But
Yes.
will this thing happen to me?
For me, it was very much like,
Happen to
oh,
me.
if
Ugh.
I forgot to like take this pill one day and I happen to have sex on that day, is that going to be?
Yeah.
There's so many
Detrimental.
variables, so many things.
Is this the primary reason that everyone hates the pill? Because it's a question. This is a safe space, and I can ask it.
Totally, yes.
Why are we all negs on? I've been taking it since I'm 15. I have no complaints. Right?
I think there.
I love that. So then,
But
right.
like, why is the general? Is it the amount of hormones?
I
It's
don't.
hormones, yeah. For me, I have polycystic ovaries and like a thyroid disease, and they put me on like hormonal birth control to like regulate my cycle.
Yeah.
I have a lot of mumbo jumbo in my head around.
We all do.
She's laughing at me.
I'm laughing because like me too.
Oh, you are, but also because did you see how crazy I was when I was talking about? She was there when I was like, I have to take these steroids, and she's like, you can't move. Your back is
You need to
out.
take
You need
the
to. And I was like,
But the chemicals.
she's like, but moving, like move, like living your life. So anyway, I have a lot of mumbo jumbo in my head around that. So I had like differing opinions doctor wise around taking hormonal birth control. I'm not on birth control now, and like I just have to live with that choice.
But exactly, and I think it's like it really comes down to living with that choice. Yeah, for you, the pill is like the way to go.
I don't even think about it. So like the number
Exactly.
one thing that women are like, I have to remember to take it. I have taken it now so long. It's like, it's weird if I didn't take
Yes.
it.
But you take something for epilepsy.
I
also?
double down at the same time. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
epileptic, so I just get them done.
Yeah.
No,
I'm
I
done
don't
for the
think
day.
about my thyroid medication.
Yeah.
I take the three of us are too.
I do have to think about my antidepressant. I
Oh,
really
okay.
forget
Well,
that a
that's
lot, and
you.
it's not great. No, it's not.
Okay, great. Right. So you don't like taking pills also. Like you forget
like,
it.
People
That's the
don't
thing.
like taking pills. There's the weight gain. There's the like moody swingies. There's all of it. But that's a side effect for literally
anything
any option of birth control.
except for
It's still even kind of a
an option.
thing for like who knows what the body's gonna do. You
No,
know?
I mean with getting your tubes tied, and I
But
forgot
even-
what the real way of-
Tubal ligation.
Ligation.
If you get a tubal ligation, are there side effects?
There can be.
Oh, okay.
There's side effects to literally everything.
Yeah.
Like that's just blanket statement.
Yeah. Okay.
Life has side effects. But yeah, there are side effects.
Oh my god,
to
tweet
the,
that.
again, wise. I'm so old and wise
You
now.
are so old and wise
Stupid.
now.
But yeah, so like I don't even remember how we got onto what we're talking about. But yeah, so many forms of birth control, and I had been on most of them, and I said, I don't want to worry about it. I don't want to have to like question whether or not my birth control is going to work. Let's just go right to the source. Snip that shit out.
Is it? No, you didn't snip it out.
You
What?
just snip it out because
Tell me.
the current method that most doctors practice is cutting the tube out. So it's like you're not no nothing, literally severing the path between egg and ovary and uterus.
What?
Yeah.
So even if the egg was like, "I'm coming for you," poof, she just
just
fall off a
dropped
ledge.
cliff.
Wow. So this is forever. This is non-reversible.
Yes, it when they cut them out, it's pretty irreversible. When they do the tying method, it technically is reversible, but it's not. It's not. The odds aren't great. It'll work,
Wow.
but it can. And like that's the thing is like there's side effects and risk to all of it. The people who like got their tubes tied and like still got pregnant, like it happens.
Oh, okay.
I think it's far less likely when
Was it a loose knot? Like, what are you saying to
or
me
just
right
like
now?
really powerful egg sperm combo. I don't know. I am not a doctor. I'm not a doctor.
What?
No. I did not go to the medical school.
You didn't go to. What are you doing here?
I'm a TikTok doctor for
You
sure.
are such a TikTok
I can diagnose
doctor.
anyone with ADHD.
Can I just because you helped me so much with my ADHD, and I just want to thank you so much for that.
You're so welcome.
Well, I guess that brings me to something that I realized. You know, I'm like, why do we have this divide with the women and with children and without, and what's going on? And I think I realized it's because there are some women who don't have children who really want children,
Yes.
and it's a heartache.
Yes.
It's a heartache to experience.
Yes.
And when I'm with the two of you guys, you are so supportive of my work. You're so supportive of my limitations, let's just call them. No, Laura doesn't even see my limitations.
No,
No
because
such
they're
thing.
not. No.
Yeah, but
exactly.
the ADHD. Anyway, that's what I'm talking about.
Perfect. Love it.
You're so supportive of my children, and I think it's because there's no heartache. There's no longing for that experience. This is a big realization that I've come to, because I've always been like, why can't we just do this village thing together? And the reason why many times is because it's sad for some people, and it's not sad for you.
No. And like that's there's so many ways to go about life, and there's so many ways to go about being a parent and a mother, and there are so many different journeys to get to the end goal, whatever that end goal may be. And like, I don't know, some people have that biological clock and they want children and their bodies do not let them have them. And like, again, modern medicine can help, but there's still sometimes when like people can't have kids and it's devastating to them. And I have so much empathy for that because like, I don't know, I think it's like truly what being pro-choice means is like you can do whatever you want with your body, and if your body desperately wants children and you're not able to have them and not able to get them, that's devastating. And that like we have to hold space for that. We have to be able to hold space for any iteration of children in the world. Like, yeah.
And of women in the world.
Yeah.
I would say all people, but we are really just talking about women and children at this point. You know, like I believe that for all people, all genders, but we are really talking about like birthing people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talking about a community of women that you've built here.
Yeah.
But also you wish to see out in the world, which is a sangha, a community of women, child having or non, coming together. And my devil's advocate argument here is, why can't we do that in community and still both of us, you, me, her, can hold space for the women who can't have kids?
Yeah.
Well, my gut
We can all
reaction to
do
that
it,
is
right?
that people don't talk about it.
I agree with you.
Except we do here.
We do here, but
Yeah.
it's like I didn't know a single other person who had a tubal ligation until I was vocal about it. And then like 7 friends were like, yeah, me too. And I was like, what? We don't talk about it. We don't talk about miscarrying. We don't talk about abortions. We don't talk about our bodies functioning as bodies. And if we truly accepted this like community belief, we would be able to hold space and actually talk about it so that there wasn't that weird like, oh, why are we sad around other people's children? Why are we not like connecting in this way? Just talk about it. Talk about your feelings because it's really helpful. It's helpful for you to get it out, and it's helpful for other people to be like, I also feel that way. Yes.
I was just telling Caitlin in the bathroom, I was like, I'm having a bout of unworthiness. And and I was like, what a weird thing, you know? And now I am reminded like how important this project is.
Yeah.
This podcast, this project, that that even in my days of unworthiness, that this is such an important space, because I think like really people do have a hard time talking about it. There is so much shame being doled out
Yes.
but by society at large. It's not by any one entity. It's just being spit forward, back, all over, all the time. And I think that if we, the two of us, can talk about it and then have someone listen, we can offer them a template of what it is to speak heart to heart, to be seen, to be validated in our life choices, or even to just hear you say, like, there are so many ways to be a person in this world.
Yeah. Yes. And like that's why I talked about it on Instagram, you know, like I'm a very open person in life and on social media, but it's like, no, I'm going to talk about this on social media because like I don't know who it could affect. And so many people reached out to me and were like, oh my gosh, where did you find your doctor? What are the steps? What, like, how did you decide to do this? What was the procedure? Like all of these questions that no one ever talks about. So like, let's talk about it so we can spread the good word of tubal ligation.
Spread the good word of tubal ligation.
What was the time frame? Like from when you decided like, all right, I'm definitely doing this to like when it was done?
That, for me, it was very quick. It really depends on what state you live in and what doctors you have access to. I am very fortunate that I was living in Washington State. My doctors are liberal as heck. They support everyone. And so for me, I was prepared for it to take years. Like I literally started the process right after Roe v. Wade because I was like, I want to start doing this now so that if I have 17 million doctors tell me no, I have a record in my like medical record saying she wanted this done this date. And so years from now, it could still be like recorded. But that was not the case. And my primary care physician was like, yeah, I think that's a great idea. You obviously like know what you want. Let's do it. Go see an OBGYN. Made an appointment like 2 weeks later, maybe. Saw this wonderful woman. She was incredible. And she was like, yeah, in this clinic, we respect humans and their bodies and their choices. You've clearly done your research. You are an adult woman. You know what you want. Let's do it. And then I was like, okay, well, wait. You have to like sign the papers and then you wait like a couple of weeks for them to schedule it, and then they schedule it maybe like a month out. So I started looking in maybe like summer-ish time and had the procedure done in November. So like fast.
Nice. Yeah.
That does not seem fast to me. I'm sorry.
But like for like a couple of months to go from like, this is an idea to seeing a doctor to getting an appointment for a surgery.
A surgery.
Like,
yeah. I guess you're right.
It's not bad.
And it's an elective surgery, so it's not like they're gonna fit you in real quick.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
what were the other questions people asked you so I could just use those?
no, just I think like people are really, a lot of people like don't even know what it is and don't know what getting your tubes tied means. I had someone recently just say like, oh, well, now that you don't have your ovaries, and it was like, no, I still have those. They're still there. That's not what it is. But like anatomy, no one freaking knows what organs are in the stomach of a person. So you've got your ovaries, your fallopian
Dr.
tubes.
Kinnunen. Tony nominated
Dr.
Kinnunen.
TikTok extraordinaire.
You've got your ovaries, which hold all the eggs. You got your fallopian tubes, which connect the ovaries to the uterus. And then you've got the uterus, which goes into the vagina. And so what a tubal ligation is literally taking out the tubes. So you are cutting access from ovary to uterus. So yeah, the only part I now don't have are my fallopian tubes.
Both of them. Right, just in case. Anyway, I'm gonna block you from both sides.
Truly.
Great.
It works
never
from
know.
both sides.
Yeah. Did you know sometimes they can come both in? And you can just have twins.
Hey buds, it's Daniela Rabbani, your host of the Mom Curious podcast, taking a quick break from the episode so that I can share with you an amazing podcast on this network. And I think you're going to love it because Bachelor Nation regular Chelsea Vaughn has started a podcast about all things dating, friendship, pop culture, and much more. So tune in every Monday for new, hilarious, and heartfelt chats. Listen to Vulnerable wherever pods cast.
Oh, this is Laura's second favorite
I just
conversation
have a fixation around twins.
Well, because
It's insane.
I need you to know
They're
something.
crazy. The
The
body
older
is
you get, the more the eggs want to get here in human form, and they just start dropping. It's actually a real. I know. Aren't you so happy? Every time she
hate
comes
that.
over and hangs out with my kids, who I'm certain you love.
I love your children.
Okay.
They're my favorite.
I always turn to her and I'm like, aren't you so happy? You're like just going home. She's like, I am stoked.
so happy that I get a full night's sleep.
Yeah. So anyway, I just thought PSA, the older you get, the more likely it is you have multiples. And that's not only because of IVF, which is also.
that was the assumption I made, is that most people were older doing IVF, and that's why they ended up with twins. So I learned something today here.
Oh, I learned a lot
We're both
too.
Dr. TikToks.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
I just signed up for TikTok actually.
I love it.
Because of Caitlin, because she's young and hip and cool. Are you not a millennial?
No, I'm a millennial.
You are?
Yeah.
Oh. Why do you seem so young and hip and cool to me?
I don't know
Yeah.
because it's not true.
What is that in my head?
I'm trying to be. I'm wearing my Crocs like
those-
the TikTokers, and it makes me question my.
They're not just
Sanity.
Crocs, everybody. They are Croc boots.
They're a rain boot. They're a Croc rain boot. They are bright pink.
They got a little heel.
They got a
Sensible heel.
sensible heel. I was very tall next to you today
I mean,
in the bathroom. You are a very tiny human, but I'm not a giant.
You're a
human,
regular
so I'm
sized
an
person.
average sized human being.
I'm so glad we covered that here and that you all
And now
are
you know.
listening on
Now you
the
know.
important topics. Well, have we covered it all around this important
I don't know. Have
decision
we?
you made? I don't know.
I just think it's like no matter what your feelings are, they're valid, you know? And I have like truly on any given day, I can give you 10 different reasons of why I don't want children. And they are all valid. And
Should we list them?
Yes.
but like any.
I want to hear them out loud, and I'll tell you why. Because what we were talking about, how shame is so pervasive,
Yeah.
and I don't want to ever stop you from just saying it out loud.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
because it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But also like any reason you want a kid is also okay.
yeah.
These are just my reasons. And other people could be like, well, that's a dumb reason. And I'm like, sure, but it's my dumb reason. But yeah, so my dumb reasons are, the biggest one for me is that giant caveat that I am a very anxious human being. There's a lot of mumbo jumbo up here. And
You'd never know it.
You'll never know. You'll know it in a second. So just like caveat of the way my brain works. But yeah,
And
so
you don't
like,
obviously you don't have to share anything you don't want to share. I just want
no, I want to share everything.
That.
But like, yeah, just caveat of like, these are my own opinions. I'm not putting them on anyone else. Take what
The
you will.
opinions expressed here
Here.
are that of Dr.
Caitlin Kinnunen.
Okay.
Yes.
I wanted to say Tony Award nominee, Dr. Kinnunen.
I think that's great. I think that's my new
TikTok doctor.
TikTok doctor.
We're working on the title, guys. Go on.
Anyway, okay, so my biggest one, which has been the biggest one for like a very long time, is my diabetes. Pregnancy and type 1 diabetes can be very complicated. It can be totally smooth, totally no worries.
I know.
Tons of pregnant women are type 1, tons of people who have had children have type 1 diabetes,
Yes.
and it's fine. They
I
have
know one.
beautiful, healthy, gorgeous children.
Yes.
Love it for them.
And
And on the other side, it can get really complicated really
I
fast.
didn't know that.
And there's a chance that your offspring would then maybe get diabetes. I would feel so guilty if my child ended up having diabetes.
Really, it sucks that bad?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, it's fine. I'm living with it. It's my life, and, like, I don't really know life any other way. And I'm an awesome person and functioning, like, greatly in the world. But also, would I wish this upon anyone else? Fuck no. So, like, yeah, that was, like, numero uno of, like, don't want that. So there's that. There is just, like, I would feel guilty giving any of my neuroses.
Oh my God, your
To
brain
a
is so beautiful. If you
child?
could give your brain to me, I would be great. I would be so.
You don't want it. I would feel so guilty. But yeah, so like that, like really like genetics. I was like, let's not. We don't need.
Let's just stop here.
We don't need more of this
I mean,
in human form.
okay.
So that, and then I believe we are burning the world to the ground, and it terrifies me, the idea that like our age group has to deal with it eventually. Like, we're gonna be 80 and like rowing a boat through a pile of mud because the world has no water left, or it's on fire. But to bring a child into that,
No thanks.
it felt really, really bad to me as well. But then again, on that same note, if other people want to bring a child into it, totally support that. That's fine. Whatever, you do you. For my brain, does not compute.
Yeah. But you know what's really helpful actually when you do list these things out is like maybe it's not for the person who's listening. There are several people listening, right? So there's someone who's going to be like, yes, yes, yes. There's another who has children and is like, please stop.
Stop talking.
But to that person, I would say, please respect other people's life path. And they probably know someone who doesn't want children.
Yeah.
And they're like, what? Are you afraid of this? What? Do you have mommy issues? What? Do you blah, blah, blah? No, they have their reasons.
Yes.
Yeah. So that, I think this is an important sort of exercise, not in shaming anyone for having children, but in validating your own experience. There are reasons. There are valid reasons.
Yes.
And we can support other people in this choice.
Yeah.
So okay, if you got more.
Oh, I've got more.
Hit us
I've
up.
got more.
Let's do it.
Also, like, yeah, genetic wise, like my depression and anxiety, don't want that to be in human child form. My career, I am very career driven. I always have been. You can 100% have children and have a career.
Yeah.
You can. You're doing it. I see you do it every day.
Yeah.
I didn't want that. I don't want to have to prioritize those two things. Again, for my brain, no.
I feel like Laura can relate to that.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's my number one reason.
Yeah.
It starts with the career bit.
Yeah.
Like, I need the autonomy but it's also like being self-aware enough to know that like I don't have it in me. She does.
Yes.
Daniela does have it in her to split her and prioritize these children and give them so much love.
Yes.
That like I know that if I had a kid, that kid would be lacking.
Exactly.
Because I am not my
no, but
career,
that's so real.
You hit it when you said it. Like, some kids just grow up and they have dolls. I didn't have a single doll. I had stuffed animals. I had imagination games.
Yes.
And then I was like, I want a career. I was like 6, like that is a real thing.
Yeah.
That was our baby. It was like,
Yes.
I want to be something, which it absolutely does not mean you can't be something with
This
kids.
network,
But
is
it
your
is
baby.
Yes.
Yeah.
All these kids in these rooms, like mentoring kids in their early 20s, like all of that fills me in a way, and then they go home. Also, I can get a drink with them, so it's fun.
Yes.
But it's also like I have nothing but respect and admiration for someone like Daniela that can balance it. And there are so many amazing. I mean, how many have we met over the last?
Truly,
just amazing women that are doing it. And can I just say,
I also think it's equally amazing to say no thanks.
No.
Can you just say?
Well, it's funny that you can I just say that I don't think we have ever. I know that I haven't, and I think this is the perfect time to do it.
Perfect poison.
Can we thank you because your unwavering support of women like us,
Yes.
people like us, there are not enough of you. Thank you. Thank you for getting here and doing this constantly. I know what you put into making this community, this show, I know what it takes. And I also, on camera, off camera, in life, feel so fucking supported by you, seen by you. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Truly, thank you, because we have not thanked you nearly enough for that.
Thanks for saying.
It's true.
I love you guys so much. It's just that I love you so much.
We
I
love you so much.
That's all, like I do get sometimes thank yous from these beautiful women who don't have children. It's hard. It kills me. Like, why? Who fucking cares? Why are we up each other's asses? Why are we up each other's fucking vages? Like, get out.
Through tears.
It's just like, I don't understand why there needs to be a thank you. I appreciate it, but I'm also just like, you do enough. You are enough. I don't know why the world hasn't validated that experience. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? in that?
No.
It is breathtaking to me that, like, why are we doing this? There is actually a phenomenon that I learned from a podcast called Women Without Children by Ruby Warrington. She's an author. And she's I don't know, I think she's in her 50s maybe. And she never wanted children. And she interviews other women who either wanted and didn't have or etc. And there is this like patriarchal phenomenon called neonatalism, which is that like we need to make children in order to work the farms, in order to make money. And what we've done is like we've made women's bodies a commodity.
Yeah.
That is like the opposite of what bringing life into the world is about. So I just yeah, thanks for the
That's
thank
why
you.
this space is so important. That's why like you are building a community. You are
Yes.
you saw something you didn't like in the world and you said, I'm going to fix that. And you are doing that. It's humongous. It's humongous to me and it means something to you.
Yeah.
So at least there are two of us.
No,
you
there
know?
are more. There are
I
more.
I know it, but
Yeah.
you know.
I just think it's also pretty badass to. Do you feel like it's badass to like make a stand like that?
I think so. I think any person choosing to live authentically in their body and listen to their body is amazing. So many people do not do that. And so to have the courage, wherewithal, whatever you want to call it,
Yeah.
to say, no, I'm going to listen to myself and put myself first. Some people are going to be like, damn, that's selfish as fuck. And I'm going to be like, no, sure, whatever. It's still what I want to be doing with my life. And putting my wants and needs first is very important.
It's very important, and it means that the way you show up in your work and in your life and in your relationships, I see it firsthand. I feel it firsthand. My family feels it firsthand. Is so full. I wouldn't have this podcast without Laura because she's so full. She's so self-embodied and actualized. And if you don't listen to yourself, you can't give of yourself.
No.
Not that, by the way, just that concept of giving of yourself is, I think it's a little manipulative. I don't think that's what we're here for. I think actually we're here to receive.
Go off. Go off.
Don't you think?
Yes. Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Just like the same idea of like we've like monetized the female body.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, really, like the most feminine experience is to receive, to be a receptacle of
Yeah.
joy, bliss, air, water, fire, whatever, art. I think the overemphasis of giving, like that archetype of mother, of woman,
Yeah.
of giving, it's just a little overblown.
Yeah. And like, I think this is just a difference of like, I don't know, thought process or like articulation. But like, to me, in that statement, it is giving, because if I am truly able to like be all of me and feel all of that feminine energy, that masculine energy, whatever I want to bring to the world, and fully embrace it and embody that every single day, I am then giving the ability to have other people do that.
I mean, just by being, right?
Yes, just
I know it sounds
fully
lofty,
being.
but really, if the reason why you're here is because the fact that you exist the way you do
Yeah.
is a leadership role.
Yeah,
Just
that
by
like I wouldn't know that was possible if I didn't see other people doing it.
oh yeah,
You know, like if I didn't see you leading your life with like everything that you have in it, I'd be like, oh well, you can't do it. But then here you are
Right.
being like, yes, I am receiving. And so in doing that, you are giving me the permission
Right.
to receive.
yeah, and I do think that the world is on fire. I totally do. I can totally, and there is so much beauty to be enjoyed.
It's a fucking gorgeous fire.
I mean, she's looking good.
The color scheme, mwah.
The tastes, the smells, the experiences.
No, but it's true. And like, I don't know, part of like me not having children is that I can fully embrace every part of this life and give it my full attention and feel all of the feelings. And like, by not having kids, I gave myself permission to do that. That I can live my life to the fullest, however the fuck I want.
There's a story in there that I know that Laura and maybe the listener doesn't know. When you were in the Prom,
Yeah.
on Broadway,
Uh-huh.
For which you received your Tony nomination
And my doctorate, yes.
and her TikTok doctorate. No, TikTok wasn't around then.
I know. It was
Okay, whatever.
later.
Not your TikTok doctorate, your actual doctorate. She never went to college. Okay, so
No.
anyway.
Anyway.
Everything's going great. You came out as bisexual.
I did.
Can you tell us about that?
I can tell you about
Yeah.
that. Yeah, it was, I was doing this show called The Prom when I was playing a teenage lesbian, and for years I identified as a straight ally. And doing the show, like, that was definitely not the reason I came out. It just happened to, like, coincide with my timeline, I guess. But I started dating a woman. I just, like, was like, yeah, we're gonna do this. And it was awesome. And I was like, oh, I'm bisexual. Duh. And I
Looking back now,
that makes a whole lot of sense. Yeah, so I just, again, like, I'm all about living authentically. And I said, okay, yeah, we're coming out. We're like acknowledging that this is a thing. That like, yeah, I am also attracted to the same sex. And yeah, so I came out when I was 28.
Yeah. And ever since you've been an advocate for the LGBTQI
Yes,
community.
I would say that I was
And a member.
I
really
and a member.
appreciate you saying that, by the way.
And a member. Yeah, like I was always an advocate. I am fully a believer of like love is love. You should be able to do whatever you want, love whoever you want. As long as you're like two or more consenting adults, like whatever.
Yeah.
Again, it comes down to like, why am I like shoving myself up your butt to be like, this is how you should live your life? No, I don't care. It literally has nothing to do with me. So like, go do you. But yeah. So like, yes, now I can like proudly say like, I am a member of the community and I support the community and I advocate for the community. All of it.
You read a speech that you shared last week, 2 weeks ago? I don't know.
Who knows? Time.
It was so beautiful. You shared that with me, and I can't get it out of my head. I think the big thesis was live. What was it? Live out loud. No, that's the OWN network.
Live that love.
What was the thesis? What? Tell me about
It
it.
was just I was asked to present this speech at a human rights campaign event, and they wanted me to speak about visibility. And
Visibility, that's right.
it was, I think, the thesis of my speech was kind of what we said earlier, that it's like, no, live your entire life with authenticity and out loud and proud, no matter what you are saying, doing, whatever, so that you can give other people the courage and the safety to speak their truth and live their lives out loud.
Yeah, and you don't have to do that by standing on a podium and giving
No.
a speech or having a podcast. You just the example you said in your speech was just holding hands on the street.
Yeah.
Is
It
a
can be
huge
very
act.
very simple. Nothing has to be like this. I don't know. I feel like in the world of social media and just like everything being so accessible, people assume that any gesture has to be huge. It has to be big. It has to be this blowout thing that has like time, money, energy put into it. No, it can literally just be as small as holding hands or showing up for someone, or like just you know, walking down the street in your bright Crocs.
They're not just Crocs, guys. They are Croc boots.
Croc boots.
All right. Well, we're wrapping up our time together.
Okay.
Well, not.
We'll have
not
to
good.
have you back.
Yeah?
I'll
We
be
mu-
back
we must have
anytime.
you back.
I can
This
be like
could
a
have
little,
gone on for like easily another hour and a half. So I mean, we've
I'll be like your
I can't.
childless correspondent.
we've got we love.
Wait, we're really hoping to do some like you know, some video content.
Yes, I'll show
Okay.
up in my Croc boots, ready to interview
Croc
people.
boots. Thank you for calling them what they are, which
Croc
are
boots.
Croc boots.
They're also badass.
Thank you.
Thank you.
They are.
Tell us, where can we follow you, find you, what's up
You
next,
can find the
etc.
Crocs at crocs.com.
That's CROC.com.
No, you can find me on Instagram. I'm at Caitlin.Kinnunen. That's really the only like public social that I'm on like all the time. I have TikTok, but like it's not
It's just for doctor stuff.
It's just for doctor stuff. No, it's literally
just for my medical practice.
it's just me like doing like silly videos, I think once every like 2 months.
Great.
So like it's not where to keep up to speed on my whereabouts. Instagram is the place for that. Right now I'm just like hanging. I'm working on some audiobooks. I just had one come out like 2 days ago called The Island.
And you won an award for one of the other audiobooks.
I got
you did, right?
nominated for an award for one of them. I got nominated for an Audie Award, which is like the Oscars of audiobooks.
Don't laugh. It's actually pretty cool.
But it's so weird that that's a thing. I
don't
didn't
think
know
so.
it was a thing. And
It's
then
a
I was
real
like, oh my
performance.
God, what?
Where can
But
people
yeah.
find
Brava.
if they want to listen to your audiobooks? We're Audible or
Really anywhere that audiobooks are accessible, Amazon, Apple, Audible, all of the things.
And the Prom, your is the original cast
Mhm.
recording available
Mhm.
as well?
Yes, it is. You can listen to me sing some songs about lesbian love
In high school.
in high school.
I mean, it's special.
It's very special. I actually get to go and see it at a high school this weekend, and I
Wow.
cannot wait to see like high school kids perform this show.
So
It means so
special.
much.
Well, you mean so much to me. Thank you so much. I'm Daniela Rabbani, guys. See you next Tuesday on the Mom Curious podcast.
Thank you, as always, for listening to the Mom Curious podcast. My name is Daniela Rabbani. I am your host, and I would love to continue this conversation at Daniela Rabbani on Instagram. And if you'd be so kind to rate and review, share this podcast, I would be just really grateful. Catch you next time, every Tuesday on the Mom Curious podcast, produced by Hoff Studios. You can find them at Hoff Studios on Instagram as well. All right, have a great day.